holy instruction from the prophet religion. Again, more, we have to reiterate the fact that these are holy instructions. And the reason why we have holy instructions is because we are holy people, number one. Number two, we have to have a holy God, we got a holy prophet, we got holy angels. Everything about us is sacred. This is what has been beat out of us during the time of slavery, okay? So with this in mind, what we have to do now is to see ourselves in our present status, okay? This is one of the most difficult things for a conscious Moor to do, is to come into his own and see himself as he really is, okay? When I say he really is, please don't take it personal as far as the gender thing is concerned. We'll go into that in a second also, okay? But what we have to do, we have to realize that there's a reason why you have the Divine Constitution Act 1. There's a reason why the very first question in the questionnaire is who made you. There's a reason why the number one chapter in the Quran is dealing with the creation and the fall of man, okay? Everything takes you back to your status, your proper status as God. We do not want to look upon ourselves as being perfect, but there is no other way to look at you other than who you are. You are a perfect source. You came from a perfect source. I've never seen an apple tree produce alligators. It's not in the Constitution. It's not in the nature of an apple tree to just spit out alligators. It don't work that way. Okay? So if you want to get some alligators coming around, then you better get some alligators. Okay? Like so, when it comes down to if Allah is omnipotent, Allah is perfect in every way. If Allah made you, then why aren't you omnipotent? Why aren't you perfect in every way? Why aren't you one of the all-knowing, all-seeing, everywhere at once? Why not? Okay? Once you know your true status and how to get there, how to sustain that situation, then this is what these holy instructions are all about. It's not about common man. Common man has had these lessons for over 2,000 years. They ain't done him no good. Okay? The same people that was against these lessons 2,000 years ago, they can't see the lessons there. They walk around with them, may have them under their arm. Okay? But there's such a thing as having a Quran behind your back. What that means is, if it is behind your back, you sure ain't facing it. Okay? So, when you deal with the chapter on religion, the history of the word religion itself might take you off, because actually dealing with Latin, okay, dealing with the word religio or credo, okay, and it's just basically a European definition to say it's a system of belief, okay. The word religion is basically out of European. It comes from the Koine Greek. Now, Koine Greek, let me give a little history about this level of Greek language. You had two levels of Greek language, okay? You had what is called classical Greek, and the other was Koine Greek. Classical Greek was the higher level of your Greek language, reserved for those who was of medical political level, okay? Those who were somewhat educated after they left out of Egypt or something, okay? But Koine Greek, this is your rock gut in the street, knock down, drag out, show your mouth, show your yes kind of language, okay? Koine Greek. And the reason why I had to make the distinction between the two levels of Greek language is because when they first wrote the Septuagint, that people currently call the Bible, it was first called the Septuagint, which was the Greek and Roman interpretation of what it was that the rabbis, or the 70 rabbis, had interpreted to them out of the ancient Kemetic lessons, or the Egyptian studies, or should I say the Torah, okay? So in their revealing of the Torah lesson, they wrote what is called the Septuagint, because they really didn't care that much about people of Israel. They didn't care that much about people of Kemetic origin, and African ancestral. The Greeks didn't really care. Why? Because they were not Greeks. All right? The birds of a feather flock flock together. So the Greeks only cared about Greeks. Even to the days fraternal order, it's the same thing. Can you imagine all the alpha, the betas, and the beta, everybody wants to be Greek. Okay. I just had to drop that, all right? Because the Septuagint, which is later today, you got a Septuagint in every church today, but they call it the Bible. Some people even call it the Holy Bible. Some people call it the King James Version or the Masonic Bible. There's at least 2,000 different versions of the Bible, okay? But it all began with the Septuagint that was written in Koine Greek. What got everyday street language, Greek language, the way that they understood it best, or they didn't care, okay? That's the reason why you had a whole lot of thou should not do this, when the actually originally says that this is not a part of me. Okay? Well, they took the not a part of me because they didn't care. They put that by the time it come out of Koine Greek, it came out thou. In other words, thou shouldn't kill, but it's all right if I do it. Okay? But thou shouldn't do it because if thou do it, I'm going to punish thou. All right? So that's the principle of the Ten Commands. All right? So, but all of this right here was drawn from the ancient Kemetic studies of Sanatan, I'll get it right in a minute, bear with me, Sanatanati, all right? What this means basically is man know thyself, okay? And you'll find this throughout all the ancient Kemetic teachings, man know thyself. This is all true religion, okay? Know thyself. This has always been our religious creed. I'm talking from the very first days the man fell, even before the days of the Garden of Eden. That was not the first time we was on the plane, okay? So, when it comes down to man know thyself, you find that right there in chapter 1. So when you open up the Quran, man know thyself. Why? Because your religion is actually peace. And what peace means is to be in harmony with the universal order of things. In other words, you're not going to buck, you're not going to go against the grain of righteousness, or that which is right. If it's water supposed to be over here and oil supposed to be over here, it's far be it from you to go over there and take the oil and try to make it blend with water. You know it's not part of your nature. It's not supposed to be there, so you're not going to do that. All right? That's Islam. That's Islamism, and that's peace. All over there, water over here. All they're doing is a great job being all. Okay? And it's a nice chapter. You're going to find out why water is water and all is all right? Or should I say, man. You got humans and you got gods, all right? So, another part about this great lesson that we had to send out on the email, those who have the breakdown, the add-up, the add-up lesson number 245, the breakdown on religion. One of the key things that we brought here to the attention of the Moors is that being a Muslim, which means that you have the actual will of Allah. Okay, your will has been blended with the will of Allah. This is a Muslim. A Muslim is one who is learning and studying how to submit their will to the will, while a Muslim is conscious of his will and reaches the level of the deific will. He has mastered the three-step ladder of salvation, meaning that he's not dealing with the level of belief, which is first heaven. He's not dealing with the level of knowledge of what he thinks perhaps is true, this kind of thing, or what he knows is true. He is the truth. He's being the message that he brings. That is a Muslim, okay? So in this great lesson here, the chapter on religion, we find out when the first thing we're pointing out in this special chapter, according to Elihu's add-up lesson, is you compare the great God Allah that our forefathers reminded us of on a daily basis, okay? And how the Holy Prophet Noble Dwali did the same thing on a daily basis. Then you compare that with any other God that you've been serving, okay? This tonight, we offer you the challenge for you to take your God, and you got to remember, you're not going to tell too many people that you've been serving other gods other than Allah. But we know slavery will give that to you, okay? We come up as came up in the church and I thought Lord and Savior Jesus Christ was the same. I didn't know the brother's name wasn't Jesus. And it never occurred to me where in the world was God at before Jesus was born. Okay? But that was a God that I was taught how to serve. But now I know better. Okay? And in so being, we are not criticizing any person's God, because the one thing you learn about in Moorish science, you never ever try to remove a person's God until they're ready for a higher ideal of God. Okay? Till they are ready for a greater God. So if someone is worshiping a rock, it could be a turtle shell for that matter. If they love that turtle shell so much, hey, let them have that turtle shell until they're ready to find out there's a higher God, a higher ideal. Okay? Some people like rocks. Okay? So what we're going to do with this special chapter, we offer a challenge to all the students that as to why it is that Muslims only worship and give praises to the great God, the one great God, the one universal, because here in this special chapter, it is explained in such clarity, okay, that even a blind man should be able to see how to get to heaven, okay? So, and speaking of that, let me give you this, because the most of it asked me, last couple of days about the new conference call number, so hold your pencil paper ready. You ready? Here we go. The new conference call number for Mondays and Tuesdays class is the Department of Herb, Health, and Healing, as well as the sisters meeting, the Moorish, okay. Yeah, the Moorish, the sisters, okay. Yeah, I know what I'm trying to think of the title of the program. It's the Moorish Goddesses and Queens. That's what it is, okay? It's the Moorish Goddesses and Queens on Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Both of these are 8 o'clock. The new number is, and I will give it to you now, area code 619. I'll repeat, area code 619. The number is 566 7442. Again, area code 619 566 7442. Once you do that, you have to put in that access code number so that you can become a part and parcel. This one here to let you know how powerful your Department of Herb, Health, and Healing and your sister's class is. Pick up on this number here. See if you can remember this one. The access code number is 101 5555. That's 101, just like the questionnaire. 5555. Then you hit the pound sign. Okay? So that's the new number that will begin Monday. Now, if you call the old, you're there by yourself. Okay? The new number for the conference call for the Department of Herb, Health, and Healing on Monday, and the Moorish Goddesses and Queens on Tuesdays will be area code 619-566-7442 with the access code that begins with the questionnaire 101 555 pounds. Okay? Thank you very much. Now, and dealing with religion, more the one thing about it is that when I was speaking about serving these other gods, don't feel too bad about that, because it's easy to get distracted and fall in love with another god. It's not strange. It's not hard to do, especially when you don't know any better. All right? Now, you must bear in mind, serving any other god outside of your own creator is due to ignorance. It's not due to fear. It's not due to the fact that you just bucking and you don't like it. It's just due to ignorance. You don't know any better. Okay? And whoever else is doing it don't know any better. And just to prove it to you, can you imagine how many people used to worship the sun? Okay? They even call it the sun god. Okay? Then you have people that worship the moon. They call it the lunar or the moon god. All right? You got people that worship water and trees, rocks, all kinds of things. The wind, they couldn't wait for it to start raining. It was the rain god. All right? Then you have people that worship the zodiac. That went on for a long period of time. And the word zodiac is simply means animal. Okay? The world of the little animals. Zodiac. Z-O. Okay? So, and you have people that worship these animals, and they were going to be a master Leo, or a master crab, or a master scorpion, or a master ram. Oh my goodness. Well, once you perfect yourself as being a beast, or a crab, or a creeping thing, there ain't no room for being God, then is it? So you all over there in the zodiac, perfect yourself as being some kind of beast, or some kind of crab, making 10 steps forward and 5 steps back and 2 steps to the left, 1 to the right. Now, you're not going to get very far, okay? Not only that, but you're also picking up on some weights. The people that have to drop down to you, you might like that. But you would not find yourself as being perfected as far as being a God and being an animal too, okay? That is no place for a God to be when he himself. It's like you painting a picture, and then all of a sudden, you jump on the canvas yourself, and you become part of the picture. How are you going to be the painter in the picture too? Okay? You can't be the artist in both. So if you God, and you done created all the animals, all the birds, the beasts, the creeping things, then what you look like being an animal? But this is what happens. All this was part of the fall. When the Moors, when the time came, running out, using our God powers, used to running out them animals and checking out their constitution, and all we had to do was name them. We created them, okay, we made them, and all we had to do was just name them. That's all we had to do. But no, here come man, human, here he comes, because he had God power. So he go in and out let's say the rhinoceros, okay? He jump in a rhino and get all up in there, and he sort of like that out there, okay? All up there driving the rhino out of his mind, okay? Because now you got a God in there, and the rhino ain't used to that. He just being a rhino. He don't know nothing else about what's wrong with him, okay? And you check in his constitution, and you come out, and you say, now that's the rhinoceros right there. Well, good. That was God's job. That's what you did. You should be finished, but no. You're all back up in there. Now you want the rhino head on your head, okay? Now that's why you got, right to Egypt this very day, you got the Sphinx, part beast and part human. That comes from running out them bodies, running out them animals. That's where it comes from, okay? All right? And they got stuck up in there, okay? So, and this is what happened to the nature of man, okay? He forgot all about it. After a while, he forgot about he was God. Because what? He forgot his constitution, got his principles of his religious creed. He forgot the Shantanati. In other words, he forgot how to know himself, okay? And he went along with the okie-doke. And to this day, you find a lot of Moors, a lot of people that caught up on the zodiac. They even got it on the internet every day. Come on and tell you your sign. Well, if your sign is that of the Libra, then whatever happened to the Circle 7? Whatever happened to the God? I mean, how and where you going to balance God? Please. Okay? How you going to make a judgment for God? When Allah is okay, master the day of judgment, okay? Anywho, it's the difference between that more and the zodiac and these other lower levels of thinking is like being in preschool and having a PhD. Okay, I don't want to surmise it like that, but if you can compare a preschool dropout to someone who has a master's degree, that's the difference between someone who is far behind being a zodiac or inside these other gods, worshiping these other gods, and not giving praises to the Creator and not seeing the God, the Creator that's in them. Okay? Not being divine, not being holy, not being infinite wisdom, none of these things happens, okay? So here we go with the chapter, religion. Bear with us, okay? Now, while we Muslims only worship and only give praises to Allah, the great God, remember, dear students, these lessons are holy instructions from the last prophet. All you have to do is remember who made you. All you have to do is remember who is Allah. And are you a Muslim? In other words, do you know how to take your will and match that with the deific will, where you and Allah become one? We have learned how to study. We study how to become a driver, get a driver's license. We learn how to study and walk so we can become track stars, basketball players. We can study everything. So what's wrong with learning how to be God again? That's sort of not. That's more like your nature than anything else, okay? We're going to prove that to you in a minute, too. Okay, this chapter is a test for students of self-examination. In other words, the following ayahs, 4 all the way through 28, is going to describe the deific will, the character, and everything to show you how you and the great God are one. Now, after this lesson tonight, more, if you want to go ahead on and serve these other gods, including grand sheiks and things, that's on you. Okay, but you cannot say that you got it from the Moorish American National Government. You can't say that the Grand National Chairman taught you differently. Okay? No. If after tonight, and you still want to serve them in person, them stations, and this thing like that, you're on your own home. Okay? Now let's go to ayat 4. Okay? And we find that Allah, who has stretched forth the heavens with his hand, who is described with his fingers the course of the stars. Now, in this description, what we want to pay a note to is that you take any God that we have been taught to serve, most of the gods in which we know nothing, okay? But let's take any God that you've been taught to serve, and let's see if that God can do this, okay? No matter what it is now, or who it is, because sometimes we make God out of our mates, okay? She's a God that loves us, so she just makes me feel so good, and that she becomes a God, okay? Or a car, okay? Some people fall in love with their own apartment, knowing good and well that it don't belong to them, but it's all right. It's God. They can't hardly wait to get back home, okay? So the thing about it is that when you really want to see, see if your God, your apartment, your car, whatever it is that you serve, that you love so much, it could be a fraternal order, it could be masonry for that matter, it could be a church, it doesn't matter, it could be politics. Or let's see if it can do this right here. Let's find out if your God can stretch forth to the heavens with his hand and describe with his fingers the course of the stars. Okay? Now, if your God can't do that, I suggest you start contemplating your own frame, okay? Also, let's see. What about, can your God sit in Mount Ocean and say, well, look, don't go no farther than here. Don't let it pass no further, okay? Or stop the storm and seas and say, be still. I don't know how many of you ever been on the sea that when there's a storm out there, but there ain't nothing pretty seeing a 30 or 40-foot wave, okay? And to have someone to come along and say, be still, and they calm it down to like a pond. Can your God do that? Okay. What about earthquakes? Okay. Can your God produce an earthquake? Now we're not picking on your God now, because we understand it might be a little tender. But it's saying there's a time when our job here is to give you the truth. Now what you do with it is on you. Okay? But you won't be able to say that you didn't get it. All right? Now, what about ayat 7? Say, Allah who calleth forth the worlds. Then when you're talking about worlds, calling forth worlds, you calling forth dominions, universe, realm, planes, functioning bodies, society. You're talking about systems and kingdoms. He called forth these things. Like the universal order says, well, that's a galactic system over there. Okay? Our telescope has picked that up. There's another. Well, who put it there? Okay? All right? And I mean, just by the words of the mouth, it said, it is done, so be it, and it is good. Just by the words of the mouth, and it's done. And the reason why you know that Allah, the great God, did this is because you and Allah are one. Look at what you yourself have created even when you were asleep. For example, look at the Moors. The Moors created what we now call the United States of America while they was in a coma. Sleep, I mean, you're talking about, these are gods to show you how powerful the God is in the nature of man. All right? Here was a God that had been transformed, made into a slave, didn't even know he was God, but in his slave mentality, he created the world's most well-known superpower of all time. Okay? Known as the United States of America. Yeah, it was the Moors that did that. You don't believe me? Take away from the United States everything that comes from the Moors. Okay? Just take it away. That's including the Masonic Lodge, the Scottish and York Rite orders, all that come from the Moors too. Take it all away and tell me what you in fact, I'll tell you what you would have. You would have no United States. Okay, that's what you wouldn't have. But number one, because they wouldn't even coming out of Europe in the first place, much less come across the 3,000 miles of water. Okay? But let's get into that, all right? So what do you have now? Let's take away everything, every contribution that the Moors made while they was in slavery, while they was asleep. Did you know, I don't know, how many of you got folding chairs? Yeah, it was the Moors, when they was in slavery, created the folding chairs. It wasn't the first time. We could go into that. But anyway, that's just the God status in us to create things for a matter of convenience for others. Because we like producing life, okay? We're not murderers. We don't like mass genocide, killing a whole bunch of people. That's not in our nature. You find a Mo killing something, there's something wrong with him. He done lost his God power, lost his mind and everything. He don't even have a mind no more, okay? So when you go into the next level, you find out, oh, reverence the majesty of the omnipotence, and tempt not his anger, lest I be destroyed. Now, a lot of more, they panic when they see this thing about anger, but let me tell you what this anger is. You have to look at things, now that you're a student of Moorish science. The word anger here says, oh, you don't want to get God angry, because God will smite you. He'll do this to you. He'll do this. Whoa. It ain't that kind of anger, okay? Because the kind of anger that you're looking at is some of your own lower self, and you want to put God in it. It don't work that way. All right? What this kind of anger means is that when you yourself try to mix oil and water, there's going to be a problem. That's anger. Okay? When you go against the universal order of things, then there is going to be some retributions. That's anger. All right? It's going against something that was designed or meant to be something other. All right? That's anger. It ain't got nothing to do with hatred. God don't like God hates me. Come on now. All right? You're the one that went. Let me tell you about this anger. All right? Because a little later on in the well, I'm going to skip around. I'll put it together. We're going with the anger word in ayat 8. Then I'm going to skip down to ayat 25. Okay? When the prophet says, think not, bold man, because our punishment is delayed, that the arm of Allah has weakened. All right? Now, I'll speak with the particular earlier, but the thing about it is that we're talking about the delay. Okay? And this punishment. Because, I guess somebody say, well, what's the relationship here? We're talking about that anger again, okay? But here we come, think not, bold man, because that punishment has been delayed. Let me tell you about this punishment and the anger, what can happen about this when you go against the grain, all right? When you look in the Quran, it asks you that every nation, and think about us now, think about us, every nation has suffered slavery. I think it's chapter 48, I think. Every nation has suffered slavery due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. to be God, learning the God that was within ourselves. These same sacred teachings is all over India, China. They call it chi over there. They call it meditation over here. It's everywhere. Every nation has got their own system or their own variants of our ancient Kemetic teachings of Islamism, except us. This is what the Moors, and let me tell you what happened, because the Moors are so close to Allah, we was scheduled to take all the Kemetic teachings of the knowledge of the self as God into Europe. We didn't want to go there, but Moses, after he went up there with his little crazy self, he went up in there and started educating people. Okay, that's symbolic of the Musa era. All right. Well, that forced the people of the commission started to go into the forbidden territories and try to teach people that didn't have a sin in the first place. Okay. So our job was to teach man that Allah and man are one, that Allah is God. Right? Very simple. Not complicated. Not rocket science. Well, I don't want to put a rocket in the middle of that either. But anyway, getting back, when it comes down to what our job was, it was just merely to give the ancient and the truthful nature or the natural system of man, to divinity of man and his nature, to the Europeans. That's all we had to do. But no, we get to hang around Europe, Italy, and Sicily. We got to hang around that peninsula and that island so long, messing with them European, amalgamating the Canada. We created two new nations of people. Okay? The Italians and Sicilians. Well, that wasn't even the ending of it. It's gotten a lot worse. The next thing you know, to the victor goes the spoil. They people, we got so bad, we forgot who Allah was. Okay? And in 1492, there came a big thing between Queen Isabella and Ferdinand, who joined with the Muslims of the Mohammedan faith. Okay? There's a difference between Islamism and Mohammedanism. Okay? Trust me on that one, all right? And they also was banked by the Moorish brothers out of Tripoli, Algiers, and Morocco, who joined with the European Queen Isabella and Ferdinand, that they called the Cid, okay? And with the Muslim, under the Muslim influence out of Saudi Arabia, where they said, well, we got the Quran. Oh, okay. So let's get rid of these Moors. So during Juma service in 1492. There you go, I'm sorry. Let me get it right. Okay. This is when the Moors lost, when we lost, okay? And the next thing we know, those of us who survived that particular Juma onslaught, we were used to begin the West African slave trade. Featured and headed by, of all countries, Morocco, okay, which was the head of the Moorish Empire, okay, known as Egypt of the West, because they had the five-pointed star of the Moors, okay? And that's the reason why we endured or encountered such the worst system of slavery ever performed or ever traumatized to a people, any member of the human family. In the history of God, man on earth, no one has, they talk about what you like a Hebrew slave. A Hebrew wouldn't have stood a snowball chance here in America, okay? You had to be a God to endure, because there's just no way. Just look at how many Indian tribes that don't exist anymore. The whole island of Haiti, Jamaica, and other areas, the people that actually the inhabitants of the island, they're not there anymore. Okay? Their whole island, the Atlantic Islands, have been refurbished and replenished with bodies and souls from West and North and Southwest Africa. That is what happened. Okay? This is what happened when we got caught up in the delay, not thinking that the arm of Allah was going to catch us. We thought we were laid up there having sex with the European women and flaunting our intellect, because we knew we established the universities and things. Europe didn't know nothing about no schools, no universities. And we established the university. We thought we were that's why we ended up thinking that, well, ain't nothing going to happen. It's been 800 years now, and ain't nothing happened. All these generations, you know how many generations can happen to you in 800 years? So the Moors thought they were safe. Their arm of Allah had weakened. Okay? They didn't realize, understand, that the anger was getting ready to take place. Okay? Anger means that you're dealing with the inharmonies of life. Those things are supposed to be here, and all of a sudden, man that took them and put them over there. Or if you take certain climatic conditions and you put the winds here or the cold weather there, and you where it don't belong, then you're going to have storms. You're going to have snow and sleet and hail. Because why? These two conditions are not designed to be together. Okay? But people call it, man, want to call it anger. It's not anger. It's in harmony. Okay? So this is what an argument is. We say an argument is what? A discussion between two fools. All you got to do is to take the problem and put the initial part of the problem over here and put it over there, and you don't have the problem anymore. It's solved. Okay? Put everything, that's when justice runs its course. Place everything in its own true perspectives, okay? Now look at number 10, when it says here that Allah has instituted laws for the government, okay? For the government. This means here that you're talking about all creations are made in the form of a government, such as the L's and the Bays. You know, a lot of them call themselves L and Bay both, okay? Your divine constitution, your holy instructions. All these laws have been instituted, they're brought by Noble Ali to us because we had gotten so far off track that we no longer remember that it was Allah alone that instituted laws for the government of the world, okay? So in other words, we had to have the kind of laws and government that be applicable to our nature. That's why, what type of government do we have? A theocratic government, one that's granted and run according to the universal order of things by divine instruction. You got a divine constitution, holy instruction. Everything about us is divine. The prophet even tell you so. Look, in order for you just to be a Moorish American, look at Acts 7. Get your heart and your mind pure with love. Whoa, okay? That means so you what? So your heart and your mind can get on the divine time, okay? This is what it's all about. That's why this chapter is so important on religion. All it's telling you is that, look, stop being foolish. Stop being silly, okay? And be yourself as God. Don't let nobody tell you you and God. You can't be God. You ain't God. What else can you be if Allah made you? Okay? You trying to find excuses to be human again, which is okay until one thing takes place. That's the anger management. Okay? Now, we're talking about this anger thing and getting caught up in the delay. When you go and hit the phone, when you leave this place like tonight, and you go hit your little telephone booth, and you want to come out on the Negro level or the unconscious level and get away with your little drugs, your little smoking, a little flesh-eating thing, and get away with it for a minute, okay, all well and good, but guess what? Don't blame Pleasant Bay because you got caught up in the delay. Okay? All right? That was your choice. All right? When the Grand Mufti, the Sister Grand Mufti was speaking earlier tonight, he was pleading to you to stay out of the realms of the delay. Why? Because you're a citizen now. You're supposed to support your government, okay? Now, this is not doing no preaching. We're trying to elevate your thought pattern to the status in which you properly, which is according to your nature, okay? Tell me anything that's more natural to you other than being God. Creating things, governing conditions, uplifting those things that's down, and understanding everything around you. Okay? Even when you say the word Father, you're talking about the great God, okay? And did you know that, look at number 17, it says, his creatures of his hand declare his goodness. This means that the ones that the creatures that you created, the birds, the beasts, the creeping things, the fish that swim, the birds that fly, everything, these are your own creations. Why are you falling in love? you done created. Okay? Because what happened then, you done forgot about the government. Nothing has ever been created that was not also governed. Okay? Every creation that has ever been, whatever has been created has also been governed. Okay? This is the reason why I look at the Moors real, real strange to say, now you got the name both creator and governor? Whoa, that's a powerful name there. You're going to be both L and Bay. Okay, let's find out if that's what you are for real, okay? What have you created lately, and then what have you used to govern that creation with? Okay, because you don't need no help from nobody else or nothing else. You don't need no help from the mass of society. You don't need no help from Allah, nothing, because why? Whatever you created, you can also govern that condition. That's what happened when you use the name Bay and L, okay? Or if you use the name Ali. It's the same thing, okay? So it don't mean that you can't do it, all right? It don't mean you don't have the qualifications to do it. But I'm just making you aware of the magnitude of the status, okay? So when you look at the why it says that their enjoyment, and I was speaking about that, this clear goodness, speaking to his praise. So when you say they enjoy, how in the world can an enjoyment, something that you created, how can they, enjoyment of themselves, show some kind of honor and to you, the one who created you, okay? Well, that's very easy, because you know what? A bear enjoys being a bear, okay? He ain't got no problem. But you take that bear out there and try to make him roll cartons down the street and jump through hoops and things, that bear, he ain't gonna like that too tough, because okay? So, because why? He's not in his natural habitat. That's not according to his nature, all right? Where if you really want to see a bear give praises to Allah, let him alone in the bear territory. Let him be in the kingdom of the bears. Okay? Do the thing that bears do. Okay? So, it's the same thing with all other creations. If you lead them according to their nature, all right, then they are most happy. This is why you find that the Moors can't find no peace in their life, because they can't be happy being un-Moorish, being part-time Moors and part-time Negro. They got a problem. That's why they're unhappy. She's unhappy. She's mad at him. He's unhappy. He's mad at him too. Everybody mad at him. Why? Because they're going against their nature. All right. Now let me help you out with it for everybody that will probably be losing it. Let me take you back to chapter 25, which you hear at every meeting, okay, every class. All right. In chapter 25, there's a profound statement at the very end of that special chapter. Okay. And you must remember, this is a covenant. It's an agreement between Allah and you and His gods. Okay. Now, if you really want to see the great God Allah, if you really want to see all these things between ayat 4 and ayat 25 take place, ayat 28 take place, all right? If you want to see every aspect there is about Allah that you ever can even imagine or want to be or see or live or whatever the case may be, then all you have to do is look at chapter 25 and you'll find out that His care will be continued to you all in your love to each other. The reason why you can't see Allah because you can't see each other. Okay, the reason why you can't see Allah because you can't love each other. This is why it is. If you really want to see what the great God looks like, put the Moors together and you'll see Allah. Okay? It's not some figure that's imagination hanging on some cross. Okay? All right? If you want to see Allah, then love yourself and love your brother, love your sister. If you really want to see Allah, why? Because did not Ali let us know that His care would be continued to you all? How? Only in your love to each other. So, and here's that love again. In Acts 7, He lets you know how important that love is, all right? Why? Because then He says that Allah is love. What's that, Act 3? Okay? Allah is love. Then He goes to the Act 7, He says, look, Moors, just to be a Moorish American alone, all right, you must keep your heart and your mind. But look, He just tied you right down. I mean, your heart and your mind must be purified. And what you going to use to purify your heart and your mind? Because we got some dirty minds. Okay? But what you going to use to purify the heart and mind? You got to use Allah. Oh, did I say Allah? You got to use love. Why? Because if you really want to see Allah, you must see Allah through the care. Okay? That's what this chapter is all about. So I want to give an assignment to all of the divine ministers. I've got to say 1, 2. I got 3 so far. They had asked me that they want to speak on Friday of the holy services. Okay. And anybody else that want to speak, but I want to give an assignment to all the divine ministers. Okay, to show me what you have gained out of this chapter in relation to you and Allah being one, under the auspices of your religious creed. Okay, I'll repeat that assignment. I want you to show me. You demonstrate. Okay, you got 7 minutes. Okay, maximum. Okay, for you to show what this, and this is a special chapter, how you and Allah are one. Okay, under the auspices of the world's first religious creed, which is your religion, or Islamism. Okay. It's all over, but I want you to see, if you don't have the assignment, if you don't have the chapter, then send me an email address to exhumingofaNation@hotmail.com, and let's say, well, I want chapter 35 or whatever, and I'll send it over to you, okay? Oh, by the way, the one that I sent out a couple of days ago, I've highlighted at least about 20 more hours on that, so you might want the latest edition of that. I'll send that out to you too, okay? So if you got the old one, say I want the new one too. And if you don't have neither one, then email me at exhumingofaNation, the subtitle of my book, exhumingofaNation@hotmail.com, okay? And say I want chapter 35, whatever chapter you might be missing. Oh, also ask me for Brother Divine Minister Denamel, who's also done chapters 1 through chapter, I think it's 18, I believe it is, 17, 18, something like that. And I'll send those over to you also, okay? Of course, there's going to be some assignments, so you be careful what you ask for, because these assignments, they don't come without merit, okay? You don't run around, I'm going to put this on Facebook. I wish I would catch somebody out there. Don't do that. Don't put these on Facebook no more, okay? I don't have to go through that again. All right. These assignments, these lessons have certain color, certain highlights, certain codes and things to help them more study and make these lessons a part of themselves. Facebook is not equipped to do that. Okay? So it's going to give a distorted image. So do not transfer it. If you know someone that needs these lessons, want these lessons, then you give them the same instructions I'm giving you, okay? You tell here, these lessons are for you, okay? These are whole instructions for you. Do not put these on Facebook, or if you're going to email it to someone, don't change it from the PDF file in this app, okay? Keep it clean, all right? So I want to pass this out to you, mainly because and understanding the power of the God that's in you. For example, if you look at number 20, dealing with meditation, did you know that meditation was a power? Where did you get power from, little God? Okay? That's the God in you, all right? The power of the meditation. What other creature do you know, creation do you know, has got the power of meditation, where they can lay back and eliminate all other thoughts except the fact that the higher self and the nature of Allah are one. They go right into the blue ether plains. Who else, what other creature do you know can do that? Okay? It's all a part of your nature. Okay? It is a power. All power is a result of force. Allah is the force. The universal order is the force. You receive power from that. It's like a baby is born with a certain power to automatically know how to nurse from the breast of the mother. The same thing with automatic, but how can you do the suckling in order to get the nourishment that you desire? You meditate. And that's your way that you suck. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So anyway, these lessons here are for growth and development, and I want to encourage everyone. I'm going to open up the class now to those who have questions or comments. And again, before I open up the floor, for those who may not know, and I want to welcome all the new Moors, the newcomers for the first time, thank you for tuning in. And if you want to catch up on this special class and you don't have the access code, you can go to the replay instead of dialing 9100.